Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into another episode of Disheveled Transmissions. Today you might notice the title being a little different. What we're going to do is something kind of new. We're going to be going back and doing some older albums and reviewing them and talking about them, which may seem kind of paradoxical, something new going back to the old, but yeah, it'll be fun. I think. I hope you guys enjoy that. But that being said, I want to kick the new year off right with a little bit of Slayer. With their second album, Hell Awaits. It's their second release, and the reason I wanted to do the second album is because it's really a point that shows Slayer in transition. To being what they were gonna become. It's really fascinating in that way. It's a very short record. It only clocks in, I think it was like 37, 38 minutes. But the weird thing about that is it's got the longest compositions that they ever wrote. Some of them being like 6, 7 minutes long. They said that they were influenced, like listening to a lot of Merciful Fate and stuff like that at the time, and so they kind of wanted to expand and do different tempos and do things like that, and it turned out good pretty much. So it was released in March of 1985. Doesn't seem like that long ago now. Recorded at El Dorado Studios in Los Angeles, California. It was released on Metal Blade Records when they were just starting up, like a small time company. Metal Blade now is huge, but it was probably one of their earlier releases that they did. I don't know if it was the first or whatever, what number it was, but that was Hell Awaits, and their other album, the first one, Show No Mercy, was probably a couple of the early releases of Metal Blade. It was produced by a guy named Brian Slagle. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, who also funded this album. He had signed Slayer to Metal Blade, and they funded their first album, the band did themselves, and it sold. They were so impressed with the way it sold that Brian funded the second album for them, so they could just kind of kick back, and work on the music and stuff. And this album is just really influential. I got to say that off the bat. And the development of metal and Slayer sound too, and then metal period. Everybody from Pantera to death metal, black metal artists have cited this album as an influence. Dimebag Darrell said he cut his teeth on a lot of the riffs, so that's really cool. What I really I love about it too is it's got the analog sound. It was recorded on analog equipment, and I love that. I mean, people that know me probably know that I'm a big analog fan because you just get such a clear sound of what every instrument. You can hear what everybody's doing on every instrument, and a lot of that's lost in the digital stuff that we got these days. And so I really dug that, getting to hear that, and it was just so crisp and clear. The production on it, it was a raw. Don't get me wrong, it's a raw sound, but you can hear, like, I think in one of the songs, I think it was Necrophiliac. I could hear one of the guys, like scream in excitement at the very opening riff. You could hear it like that, and digital it has its pluses. Analog, I really love that because it's raw. It's a raw sound, but you can really just hear everything going on in the studio, and it's also like it's a continuous experience. You can hear something different every time and have a different experience. Or sometimes digital's just sound made for sound's sake. But anyway, I digress. It's sorry about that. It's really good out in that respect. So I got to give production on it props. Really good, raw. It was just raw sound, and I like that. And the cover on it is really, really cool. I forget the artist who done it, who they got. He done it in one day. I think it was, the cover with the fallen, the background looks like a hellish background with a fallen monsters or demonic creatures or whatever. I forget his name, but they said he done it one day. Done it with watercolor. I think it was water. I want to say watercolor, and he did. I want to say he. They said he did cut out stuff and put on it too. So it's kind of like a mixed media piece of sorts, you know. And they were really happy. And I think the cover was really good, you know. You know, it's a good, really good cover, and it sums the album up, which you know is what you really want, you know. So. And I guess I should do now my favorite tracks on it for you guys. Uh, the opening track, Hell Waits, is really, really, really fucking good. It's you can hear from the on, it fades in. You can hear from the on that you're in for a hell of a ride, man. You know, and then it just, you know, relentless riff, and it's really, really good. And you know, the evil effects you hear in the vocals in the middle toward the end. I mean, it's just spot on. I mean, at the time, that was just like, whoa, shit. You know, that's some heavy shit. You know, yeah, and it's just a great, great opening track, great song, get you in the mood for the rest. At Dawn They Sleep is another song I really like. That's kind of really, really grungy, like breakdown in the middle. I want to credit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I know Tom helped write that song too, but that sounds like a Hanneman, total Hanneman thing to me, man. And that's part of what I missed on Relentless, their last album they just released before they did the retirement tour. I missed Hanneman's like just crunchy, like this was pre-grunge. I mean, this was way before grunge. I can just see myself, took me back, see my friends and myself, you know, at Tip Top Cafe or out in the yard somewhere, like going in a circle, dancing like a tribe, man. You know, it was just so beautiful, man. That was probably actually that, and the next one I'm going to tell you about, Necrophiliac, was probably my two favorites on this album. Necrophiliac is killer. It's just my God, man. It's just it pours it on, you know, in Slayer fashion. You got the lyrics. What was it? I want to fuck her corpse, you know, shit like that. Split her stomach, the casket falls, you know, see take its form. And it was just like, it's funny, but it's, you know, and it's probably funny now, but I mean, back in those days, people thought, man, these guys are fucking nuts. They really thought people, like, those guys and people that listen to them are probably out fucking dead people and sacrificing virgins and shit, you know, all kinds of crazy shit they thought of, you know, silly said now, but, you know, back then that was some real shit. But yeah, that's true, like, you know, Slayer shit right there, man, and influenced probably a lot of the death metal shit that come later, you know, the grotesque lyrics and, you know, just making art out of the gross, you know. And I want to talk about two parts. One's in a song called "Praise of Death," where you get toward the end, and it or more toward the, it's one of the longer compositions. You get toward the end, and there's a feedback moment where it's just feedback. I think it's probably Carrie doing it. I don't know though. And then it goes into another one of those riffs like I was just talking about, and then it comes back in like full force with lyrics and stuff like that, and it's just right there is where, and another song of the Heart and the Arteries, the very last song, Dave Lombardo, is just like fucking a badass, especially in Heart and the Arteries as it fades out. I mean, the way he hits those drums, man, the toms, the way he hits the toms, it's like he's fucking playing the song with trees or something instead of drumsticks. And that's true, you know, Lombardo in metal form, and I love that, you know, because you don't hear a lot of that from him anymore. And I love that too. You know, that was really influential on a lot of people. I mean, even Gene Hoglan said that. And actually, speaking of Gene Hoglan, I think he was on this record. Believe it or not, I was talking about the intro when it fades up, and it's like, you know, saying join us. It sounds like they're saying Slayer. I don't know if that chant came from that or not, but it's saying join us backwards. It's backwards to a bunch of gibberish and growling, and Gene Hogan's actually in the studio when they did that, helping them do the growls and stuff. And if you run that backwards, backmasking was big then. It says join us, and pretty cool shit. But yeah, it was very influential on Gene too, man. Who's one of the baddest fucking drummers in metal. Let's just be honest. So yeah. Um, all in all, I wouldn't. I like Hello Eights. I wouldn't say it's probably their. Arguably, they would come up with better stuff. Later on with the when they joined forces with Rick Rubin and I think was it Def Jam Recordings. They would do better stuff. But this is like I really enjoy it. This album and I love it because it's you get a portrait of Slayer when they were just coming into their own and they were like also making music that was going to be so influential across 3 or 4 generations maybe, and hopefully will continue to be. um I mean, yeah, it's not their best, but it's really one that's worth if you're a metal fan or a Slayer fan, it's one that's like worth spending time with and really listening to, because you'll see that how metal developed over time. I mean, with those guys and other big fours that like Metallica and Megadeth and the ones in America, that I listened to as a kid. Those were great, and so it's just loud and fascinating. That's the best way to put it. So overall rating, I guess I would go with a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I would say that's good. A good album. I would put it at that. Not their best. Probably not one you're gonna like play all the time, but it's one that's definitely worth visiting and spending a little time with. Like I said. So yeah, I guess that about wraps it up for me. Well, yeah. One thing I want to tell you guys about the rating system too. I'm gonna come up with a system to give you guys so you'll know a little bit where the ratings stand and what they mean. I'm gonna do that next video and get that with you guys. And thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry about responses. I gotta get better with that. It's been kind of crazy lately. Sorry about the delayed responses on these. Yeah, but I love you guys. Y'all know that. And we got a bunch of stuff coming in the new year. Excited, man. With Horror Buddies and this and some other stuff too we're working on. And we hope you guys are enjoying. Staying tuned in with us. Hit the subscribe, like, so you'll get notifications and all that. And until next time, I am out, and y'all keep rocking.